on this new episode of My Solo Chronicles.
In that moment, I realized, we're all still in university. So many of us are insecure. So many of us are afraid to be ourselves.
Okay.
And everyone is genuinely surprised that I'm already coming out of my shell. Like, some of them were a little bit intimidated by it. But, of course, my guide was, like, super excited. Like, you did it. You put yourself out there. You already made a friend.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of My Solo Chronicles. And in this episode, I have another special guest, someone that I'm so glad I'm able to have her come on and just share her solo chronicle, her solo story of her travels. So with me today is Prism. Welcome to My Solo Chronicles. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I am great. It is very, very hot in Japan, so I'm hiding indoors.
That is the truth. It is very hot in Japan. And we're in different parts of Japan, and we're both experiencing the same exact heat wave, it's been insane.
I think you're up north and I'm down south. It's humid. I'm the sandwich between the river and the sea. I can't escape it.
Exactly. I'm nowhere near the sea, so there's that. So today I'm so excited. I recently had a conversation with you about just your solo travels, like where have you been? And you just fired off so many locations. I was like, wow, I got to get this girl on here. So starting off with my very first question, where did you travel to on your solo trip and when did you go?
So I traveled to Germany on my solo trip. And in this particular story, it was the city of Cologne. In German, they call it Köln. Yeah, the party city, the historical city, easily accessible by trains. Everybody be going there to get lit. And this was in autumn of 2018.
Okay. Wow. Now, what inspired you to pick that destination? Because I love Germany. I've always said, I'm going to go to Germany. I haven't went there yet. So we're going to live through you vicariously in this episode. So what inspired you to pick that destination?
So I was actually studying abroad at the time. I love learning new languages, and I thought German would be a good starter language to ease me out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
And with this particular trip, there were so many I'm such a history nerd. I'm such a nature freak.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this was the next city over from where I was living. I was living in Bonn.
Okay.
And we were told, if we, spent a little money, as a group, it'll be cheaper, with just, a bunch of random students I had never met before. And we were all going to do this excursion to Cologne. And they had this cathedral where the tickets were super cheap. And they were like, come climb this. See if you can do it.
Great. And that's what sparked you to be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this destination.
Yes. It wasn't the parties. It wasn't the really yummy butter pretzels that definitely made me gain weight. It was I need to get these legs working again.
It almost reminds me of when I went to London and I climbed the stairs at, oh my gosh, it's the big cathedral where Princess Diana and Prince Charles got married. And I second guessed my life completely. Did you feel that way?
I wasn't even halfway up when I was like, why am I here?
I know. Exactly. That's how me too. I was like, what? Who told me to do this? Oh, that's right, myself. So how long were you in Germany? And did you feel like it was enough time for that visit?
So I was there for about a year and a half, a little bit under that.
Wow.
And no, it wasn't enough time at all, honestly, because it was my first time out of the USA. I like how my first solo journey was just straight out the country. I didn't decide to go to California or nothing. I was like, I didn't go past go. I didn't go $200.
Right.
Straight across the Atlantic.
Germany.
Right, let's go. I'm ready for cold winter. But I was so nervous, and a certain person had gotten elected, certain orange flavored person, and so I was in a headspace where I was like, I gotta run away instead of I gotta embrace.
Okay.
So the first several months I was actually isolating because I was too nervous to learn the language, too nervous to try the food, too nervous to meet people.
Okay.
And when I finally started branching out about a year in, by then it was time to prepare to go home. Yeah, it was a big lesson that I learned. So that's why I've been branching out all over the place ever since.
And that's one of the...
I ain't wasting my money.
I know, that's right. It's like you spend all this money, you got to venture out. You have to, and that's one of the things about, I think, stepping out of your comfort zone and going to another country, or even going to another state, or going to an event that's local within wherever you live, because it forces you to come out of that comfort zone. Like you said, you wasn't trying to really get out there. You was too nervous about learning the language, or just meeting people that didn't speak what you spoke. So yeah. Now with the going to the cathedral with the group, was that just something spontaneous, or was it talk over time, like, hey, we should do this before we all have to leave and go back to our home countries?
So when we first got there, they were really trying to get us out there.
Right.
Get us to do the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. So every month they would plan these trips, and they would say, all you got to do is just pay money and show up.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Meet at the train station at this time. Girl, they had it laid out for us students. That's why I went ahead, because I'm like, it's cheaper to do it with school than on my own.
Exactly. Because that's now your money that's involved.
Right. And we had to pay to live in our doors. Like,
exactly.
School was affordable, but that rent.
I know, right? So you get to the point where I am going to take full advantage of whatever they're preparing for us. So, wow, nice. Now, how many students were along on this excursion, is what I call it?
So not everyone came there to be athletic. So it was probably about 10 of us, and I was the biggest one in the group. And not only that, and then like this one like super charismatic leader, we'll get into him later. And, so I just showed up. I was the biggest one in the group, and I had this really puffy jacket.
Right.
Because, coming from Mississippi, I was like, oh, it's going to be real cold. No, it was hot. It was a hot day. And I couldn't really wrap it around my waist, so I had to carry this extra weight on top of it.
Oh, no.
I just wanted friends and exercise.
Friends and exercise.
Not a deficit.
You wasn't there for a fashion statement?
Right?
And one thing I love, and I can remember asking you, Prism, give me at least 3 destinations that you possibly want to talk about, but pick one. And this one for Germany stood out for me because you said something that I'm like, that was more like a push to make you almost like tell yourself, I'm going to do this. And I remember you saying, being a heavy person, first off, y'all, she's stunning. So don't let the oh, I was so heavy fool you, okay? Whatever. But anyways, you says, being a heavy person climbing a cathedral step by step up spiraling stairs, almost it forced you, or it didn't force you, it helped you find camaraderie with others who were just as heavy, but trying their best. With the slow and steady wins the race type of lesson. And I love that. I love that because most people, they look at traveling somewhere and they're like, oh, I can't do that because of this or because of that. And I kind of equated that when you said that to just people's mindset, how you can so psych yourself into not doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was just awesome. You want to elaborate on that just a little bit more?
Honestly, I need to marinate on it a bit because I'm surprised I said that. That was beautiful. Where'd that come from?
I thought it was beautiful too.
I must have been really in my feels. Wow. But that is how I felt. So it all started with me just like having starry eyes, just being like, thinking about really the destination and the goal, which is I really want to learn about the history of the castle. I really want to see the view.
Right.
I really want to listen to the acoustics because I'm also a singer. I was in choir for so many years.
Okay.
And I wanted to hear how, it was all designed when people sang inside of it. So when you walk through the narrow door, there's a tour guide saying, oh yeah, like it took this however many hundreds of years to build it. Just how to kind of go up it, step by step. There are no elevators, just, what do you call those little things where it's like, they like build scaffolding. Yeah, scaffolding to maintain it.
Okay.
And so you walk in and it just opens up to this just massive place, really tall windows. There are people who are like in choirs just singing for fun, right? Because it's just a tourist spot.
Okay.
And it's beautiful, it's heavenly, but all of a sudden you look in the back corner of the room, the tour guide's ushering you like, all right, like, go ahead, climb up them steps.
You can do it. Good luck.
Right, take the stars out, y'all. Put in that work. No. Historically, the cathedral is about 97 meters tall, or about 318 feet.
Wow.
And we had to climb 533 steps.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall to see the look on your face when you saw that. It's like, I'm sorry, say what? How many?
I read my little pamphlet and I flipped it over and saw all the math and I said, hold on.
You said math. You started doing subtraction, division.
Carry the one.
Oh my God.
Track the steeple. Some ain't adding up. It's adding up, but it ain't adding up.
It's not adding up. That's exactly how I felt when I took the stairs at St. Paul's Cathedral. That's the name of the cathedral. But it was only 245-ish steps. It wasn't like what you were attempting or you were doing. So, yeah.
Because you go on like the tourist sites and you look up the city and that's like the first thing you see. Like, I should have known.
Yeah. But remember, you wanted to just learn about the history and hear the acoustics of the people singing. So
that was the easy part.
That was the easy part. That was. Oh my God. So what thought was going through everybody's mind when y'all realized this cathedral has like 500 and something stairs?
Everybody else is ready because everybody else is in shape. So they left me. That's why it's a solo trip. It was just me, God, and my demons just silently judging me. Like, keep going.
You got this, girl.
Stairway to heaven, right?
No, right, exactly. Oh my goodness. So how long did it exactly take you to climb?
I know we got there somewhere like in the late morning.
Okay.
And it wasn't until noon that I got to the top. So Mississippi ain't got no mountains. We just got hills.
Yeah.
So I remember like going for a jog every day because I had a cousin who was a personal trainer, so we would exercise together.
Oh, nice.
So I had stamina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, running on a flat road is different than climbing.
Straight up to the top. It is big. It's a huge difference.
And I would say like the first 30 steps.
Okay.
I was doing all right.
Nice.
But you come from a valley There's a lily in the valley. Like it was like a. I was actually from a place that was called like Pearl River Valley.
Okay.
That's how like low and humid it was. So the air was thick and humid. But over here, the air was thin and not as humid.
Okay.
So the higher I went up, the harder it was to breathe. And every few steps, you know, as you go up the spiral, you reach, you know, a window.
Okay.
And so the view was getting higher and higher.
Okay.
And each time I found a window, I would pause because it got like at first I was pushing myself too hard. I was like, I can't stop. I don't want to embarrass myself. I just got to keep going.
Okay.
But then by the time I saw that fifth window, I was like, I need to just sit here and look out this window, consider my life.
And why I'm
look
doing
down
this.
below. Right. At first, the goal was to reach the top and look at the city from below. But by the time I got to that fifth window, I was looking down like, one day you're going to be back down.
You said one day.
What?
You'll be back in a few hours.
We go see the light again.
Eventually.
Right? I really got to a part where I was like, I can't count the steps anymore.
True.
I can't think about how much my thighs are shaking.
Did you say your thighs are shaking?
They were shaking. I remember you talking about that.
Yes.
And when I hear a podcast, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Usually when you get to a certain set of stairs, the thighs are shaking, the knees are hurting, the ankles are trying to like collapse. Oh yeah. Know that feeling very well.
I had this big old jacket.
And that big jacket.
I was about to just, Even everybody there was like, girl, why you bring that? I'm like, I thought it was going to be cold.
Oh my goodness. Wow. But it's the fact that you still pushed yourself to like just continue. Even if you did have 400 and something more steps to go. You still pushed yourself.
So I can't tell you what happened next. Like, I don't know if I was at the halfway mark. I don't know if I was 2/3 of the way there.
Okay.
I was just in like survival mode at that point. I was like, go as far up as you can, rest.
Right.
And I really do think that is the best strategy.
Okay.
Because I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. I'm not trying to even prove anything to myself. I'm just getting my heart used to what it knows best, which is beating, right?
Exactly.
I did this to feel alive.
Right.
And then somewhere around there, I saw this 80s tracksuit ahead of me. Actually, I heard him before I saw him. I just heard,
You heard him before you seen him.
I heard. And at first I thought it was an echo. I'm like, am I being that loud? You know, at this point, I had been spending 2 years learning German because we needed 2 years minimum, or first semester's minimum, to even qualify to go to Germany.
Okay.
So I knew basic things, but I was still like freezing up when I spoke. But in that moment, all the anxiety went out the window. I just wanted to feel seen. So I caught up to him.
Okay.
And I was like, this is hard, ain't it? He was like, yeah, woo.
And there comes the camaraderie right there.
Right there. I would say, you know, even though he was a guy, we were around the same size. You know, our hips didn't lie.
Okay.
You know? We were just speaking like basically like he was speaking like super simple German, and I was speaking broken German to him.
Okay.
And the whole time we were just like getting to know each other. Like, oh, what made you want to do this? Because you know he was wearing a tracksuit, so I'm like, he's probably in the same shoes as me. Like he just wants to be in shape more so he can like do more things in the world.
Right.
And so we just started laughing, you know, that whenever it was time to rest, we would rest together. And I felt more comfortable, like, actually resting with him, because when he would stop, he would put his hands on his knees and just go, oh. And I was like, you know what? Me too. Me too.
I love it. I love it.
To accept this is rough.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not having a good time. With somebody was life-changing.
That is awesome. And I love that you didn't hold back from just interacting with other people. Because sometimes, you get some people that will go somewhere by themselves and they don't interact with the people that's around them. They just, I'm just focused on doing this trip or going to this event by myself. You're like me. It's just like I always say, if we lock eyes, trust me, we're going to be talking. I don't care where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because that's how you open up yourself to meet new people and learn about whatever situation you're in. Like you said, he spoke, the easiest German to you. And that just opened up a can of, let's be friends and tackle this staircase together.
I remember reading like a scientific study years ago. I don't know who to reference, so I don't know if this is going to make it to the podcast, to the episode.
Don't quote us, y'all.
But apparently, I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend, word on the street is...
Word on the street.
When people are experiencing something painful, their pain tolerance improves when they're experiencing it with someone else.
Oh.
Especially if it's someone that they have a good relationship with.
True. Okay. That is true.
So I got to a point where I stopped counting the windows.
Okay.
I stopped thinking about my thighs.
Okay.
And I started thinking about what's the next German word I'm going to say.
Right.
But also, when we going to rest again.
And let out that sigh of, we're almost there.
Right? And time flew. So a few minutes later, he like, we were just like chatting, we were laughing, we were having a good time. And all of a sudden he looks around and he's like, are we there yet? And I'm like, I don't know. But then I heard a holy voice from above.
Aww.
Prism, you there? You okay? Where are you? Right. And it was our leader.
Okay.
Now let me do a quick callback to before we even got to the city. So we're on the train. Mm-hmm. And this guy, he's like super charismatic. You can see that he's also an expat, and he's just excited that he's able to be a beacon for new students coming in.
Okay.
And he's like giving me this impassioned lecture about how I need to put myself out there. He's
right.
like, you just talk. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't, if you're not confident about it. People will work with you. They'll try to understand you. Leave the house as much as you can. Go join these clubs and stuff like that. And I remember physically shrinking away from him. Okay. And he was like, you gotta do it. And I was like, I just need to rest first. I actually kind of snapped at him a bit, stop. You're scaring me.
Slow down. Let me get my breath.
Right, I just got here.
Let me get acclimated to the area.
Big ass jacket. And then fast forward, the same guy who was telling me that I need to put myself out there, he came back for me. He had walked down a few steps.
Okay.
And I looked up, and he was like, oh, there you are. You made it. And I'm like, really? We're at the top? And he was like, yeah. And he moved to the side, and I could see the narrow opening to the roof. I saw the sky again, finally.
Wow.
And when I tell you, I got I didn't catch a second wind. I caught about a seventh wind.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God. So I ran up the stairs. Just to catch a breeze.
The feeling of finally seeing the sky that you thought you wasn't going to see for days.
And one day we're going to be down, but that was the day.
Wow. That was the day.
And all of the other students, they had taken their pictures already. They were just chatting, getting the little souvenir coins. I was late, so I still had some exploring to do. But before I ran to the edge to look at that view, that goal that I had envisioned, I turned around and waited for my partner to get to the top. And when he made it, he had the same reaction as me.
I can see the sky.
And I was like, you did it. It was almost like we got finished winning a race together.
Exactly.
We did it. We were high-fiving, fist bumping, hugging. Like, we look at us.
Y'all
look
did
at
it.
us. And in that moment, I realized that not only was our guide super surprised, but the other students, like the way they were looking at me, they were like, wow, you made a friend already. In that moment, I realized, you know, we're all still in university. So many of us are insecure. So many of us are afraid to be ourselves.
Okay.
And everyone is genuinely surprised that I'm already coming out of my shell. Like, some of them were a little bit intimidated by it. But, you know, of course, my guide was, like, super excited. Like, you did it. You put yourself out there. You already made a friend.
Yeah. This
is great. And it was that moment I was like, this is what he was talking about. I got to get out of that comfort zone.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you actually chose to do something like that. You know, because if you would not have signed up for that and paid for it, you would probably still would have been sitting in your room, you know, going to class and coming back, not really socializing with people. And that was the first icebreaker. Because I always say, if you invest your money in something, or you're going to do it, whether you want to or not, because your money's involved. So it was awesome that you actually did that. I'm so glad that they actually organized something like that, because that's a good icebreaker. Besides doing the stair climb up the cathedral, in the area where you were at, did you get a chance to explore other parts?
Oh, yeah. So,
because remember, you done came out of your shell. You done came out of your comfort zone.
So I became the cool kid at that point. So almost immediately, one of the students she was, by the way, absolutely beautiful spirit. I think she was like half from the Netherlands and half something else, like really chill countries, basically. And she was essentially traveling the world, and she had already been to so many places, and she was actually a bit younger.
Okay.
And so we started talking almost immediately. We actually separated from the group after the cathedral climb. Oh, I remember we went back downstairs and I saw the guy again, and I was like, hey, good job. And we fist bumped. And she's like, wow, look at you. What can I say,
social,
you know?
Social butterfly.
Out of my shell. You know, I've always been like this. But we just explored the city, and it was really exciting because there was so much history, most history that I didn't know about, but I was just loving the fact that there was so much physical infrastructure. And there are, of course, like a lot of tourist traps, but, you know, after that climb, I was hungry. Right. So we went to like a lot of food carts.
Okay.
And one of the favorite things I'd ever eaten were roasted chestnuts. Just like it was Christmas, girl.
I love those. Oh my gosh.
They're so thick and meaty and just
yes,
absolutely delicious, salted to perfection. And so we were eating chestnuts, talking about like our travels, talking about why we came there, what we would like to do in the future, where where we like to go, why we were studying, what we were studying. Because even though we were all learning German, we all chose a subsect of something else that we really wanted. So I'm a cultural anthropologist, so I went to the culture, politics, and government side.
Wow.
And then she went to, I believe it was engineering.
Okay.
So we would like see each other in passing, but ultimately, like, we went on our own paths, like in the academic buildings.
Okay.
But that day, I just walked around. I was just kind of like scoping out all of the places.
Okay.
But since I lived so close to the train station in my home city, and that was like literally the next stop in the train station, I actually went back to that city multiple times.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was the party city. So I went there for a lot of concerts. Can you believe I saw Jisoo for the first time in Germany? I'm like, what you doing all the way over here?
Really?
Tune in next time as I wrap up my discussion with Prism as she talks about her German journey. As I always say, my moonbeams, have a great rest of the day. Bye.